Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's your girl, Keely Taverner here. Just wanted to talk about people taking the... Listen, we've got to stop allowing people to take us for fools. Many of us are so polite, we don't want to call things out. And when we don't call things out, we are actually playing a part of the psychological game where people are undermining you. And you're actually a part of the game. And this is not great for your greatness. It's one of the reasons why we can end up depressed, anxious, but actually a matter of the fact, hello there, is you are actually playing a game with people. And this is why you'll consistently find yourself with unnecessarily narcissistic individuals. Your girl Key is here to tell you to wake up and start to notice your behavior. You need to become conscious of the things that you do that make you a ripe target for unnecessarily difficult people. And the problem for many empaths, remember, I'm here to tell you the uncomfortable truths. Yeah, I'm not here to collude with you. Yes, many of us have been victims, but often we still victimize ourselves. And one of the ways we do that is we don't call things out. We avoid conflict. And so in order to be nice, we circumnavigate certain situation. And what I call, well, this is the name for it anyway. It's not like I've coined it. It's called collusion. And like I've said to people, I've said this in a few of my recent videos, you have to become conscious about what you actually do that is unhelpful to you. Narcissists and empaths go together, but there's a reason they fit like a glove. Selfish meets selflessness. Unnecessarily high conflict person meets conflict avoidant person. Therefore, these unnecessarily difficult people present us with a wonderful opportunity for self-insight. But if you get stuck at perpetually researching, then what are you going to do? Wanna go toe to toe with me about how much you know about narcissism? Do you think I care? In actual fact, narcissism isn't my true passion. Narcissism, if we take the opportunity to reflect on ourselves, really paves way for an opportunity for you to develop your potential. What never ceases to fascinate me is human potential, adversity, and how humans overcome. But you see, if you just get stuck at a research phase, banging on what they did to you and how they treated you, you miss the point. And your expansion and your ascension from adversity will be thwarted, and you will live a lackluster life. Forever preying them, watching them on the socials, and wondering why your life, despite what you post on the socials, is actually miserable. I ain't lying. There are lessons in adversity. Narcissists can be an unwelcomed friend if the adversity creates the opportunity for us to reflect deeply on our behavior. But the challenge for so many of us is it's easier to project outwards, to look outwards than inwards. We fear doing the inner work. And if I'm lying, if I offend you, I'm fine with that. If you have any questions for me about your greatness, about the genius within you that wants to emerge, you see, when you give your all to a relationship, that energy is all consuming. My dear people, we must understand that the same energy you plow into others relentlessly is also the same energy that you can harness for your own growth and your own expansion. And you can shift from a life of survival, to thriving. But many of us, we live in our heads. We're always trying to work things out. And so we get stuck. Your greatness, your potential is waiting for you to say yes, for you to have the courage and the bravery to step out and do something different. But what do? Wish and hope that some miracle will occur. Many of us get stuck hoping that love will save the day. And when we meet our true Prince Charming, then life will be all that we hoped it would be. Can someone be a narcissist and a fearful avoidant in one? A fearful avoidant is a detachment style. All of us have attachment styles, my dear friend. You'll have an attachment style. Empaths, we need to get out of the notion that we are some angels. We all have attachment styles. So what you're talking about is an attachment style. And then what you're placing that upon is a personality disorder. Everybody has an attachment style. And my encouragement is a part of my program, Navigate Narcissism Now, is we want to understand. Anytime I work with couples, I want to understand their attachment styles. Attachment styles give you a great insight into someone's foundations as a child. And as a therapist, it helps me to understand potentially trauma and how the dynamics are between two people. For many empaths, we can be fearful, anxious, preoccupied, right? Often, not in all cases. And when you then end up with someone who's avoidant, as you just mentioned there, it's a beautiful mix. It's a toxic mix, but it's an interesting mix. And if you are seeking to understand attachments, then the idea, firstly, is that you work on yourself. So, for example, my attachment style, my fundamental attachment style was anxious, preoccupied. And I've worked on myself. So, you know, some of those free tests you can do online, I'll come up as secure. But even in some of the descriptions, it will say we can see that you've done a lot of work on yourself. You've done inner work on yourself. So, you know, attachment style needs a context as well. But fundamentally, you know, if you're dealing with narcissistic individuals, and I get the space, and you know I'm here to challenge people about perpetually researching. Yeah, because I think that's actually a part of a beautiful way. Remember, humans, we're really sophisticated in our delay tactics and our avoidance tactics because there is trepidation and fear about going within. And I get it. I get why we may fear looking within ourselves and why research becomes an acceptable way to the psyche to empower ourselves. But often, like I said in a video that's doing all right today, you know, today my assistant and I were looking at it. The narcissist is not the only person feeding from you, my peoples. It's not only the narcissist. There are many other people who are taking advantage of your nature. And whilst the narcissist is the most excruciating, it is prudent for your own genius and your own greatness and your own potential that you develop unapologetic awareness about the other people who are feeding and suckling from your others. I ain't lying. Any questions about how to harness adversity to your advantage? Any curiosities about how to overcome being stuck? Because it's no joke. And this can mash up and annihilate your life and your gifts and your dreams and your ambitions. And I'm unapologetic about helping people. That's why I believe I say it as it is. And I'm not the therapist for everybody, but for somebody, it could be the perfect fit. If we are open to being challenged, you can challenge me too. I'd like to think I'm open about that. But you see, ultimately, my ambition, I want to see you win. I want to see you evolve. I want this to be something in your past that we can look back about and laugh. I had a client last week. Boy, we laughed. I said, sister, remember when you came into this room? We worked together for a year. I'm not about quick fixes. I don't believe in it. Don't believe in for quick fixes. It's not great for your greatness. We need time. I need to get to know you. You need to get to know me. It's a process. just got the #1 gift badge. Hey, I'm really not sure what that means because there's a lot of details on this little screen, and if I focus on them, I will become discombobulated. Yes, I have a whole raft of international clients. Far East, Middle East, off in Australia. God is good. You know, because the reality is this is a massive issue for people. And this is why, you know, I'm such an advocate of like mental health problems. Really, I think it's far bigger than that. I think it's about our potential and our life. And often for many of us, how we may have hoped that intimate relationships would be the thing that completes our life, or the tragedy we experience when we realize our family of origin are cruel and unkind people, and how difficult that is. You know, it's not about just going no contact, right? Stop making people tell you, you know, you Google this, you watch this video and you're going to go no contact. Going no contact with parents ain't no joke. It's a process. And really and truly, it shouldn't be about anyone telling you what to do. Because sometimes you have to feel the pinch and you have to feel the burn until you get to a point where you slowly edge back, give less, protect yourself more. And who knows, sometimes we have to love from a distance. Because something in our heart still wants that connection. But we know that we have to be very mindful because people aren't safe for us. They're not good for us. They're not great for our greatness. And it's really difficult when you have a narcissistic parent. I have a special place in my heart for people who've got a narcissistic parent because it's all you know. It's hardwired into you. So the journey of growth and expansion and saying yes to your own dreams and ambition, even just thinking about what you need. So many empaths, where there's a narcissistic parent involved, their whole entire lives have been about appeasing and pleasing a parent, that their capacity to even ponder upon their own needs has become so difficult. It's a real delicate journey, man, a delicate journey of love, kindness, and compassion as we see and we observe and we notice. I know that I'm a people pleaser and I want to stop, set boundaries. I don't know what you mean by that. I know that I'm a people pleaser and I want to set boundaries. Well, my sister, if you want to set boundaries, your biggest issue will be, firstly, boundaries is pop psychology in some instances. The biggest issue behind boundaries, you can Google that, go and find a video on it. It's easy peasy, right? You'll struggle with guilt, and guilt is a visceral. Visceral means it's in the body. Once guilt grips you, it's here. It's a gut reaction, very tricky. You'll set a boundary, you'll experience guilt in the gut. That is going to impact you to make a knee-jerk decision to free yourself from the guilt. And when you do that, you'll end up conceding and saying yes. Plus, because you're a people pleaser and a pushover, there won't be any consequences for when people violate your boundaries, because you may be so conflict avoidant that it would absolutely petrify you to put any consequences in place. So boundaries, good, you understand what you need, but actually what we want to see in your experience is the application. Once you get the application, then we need to pay attention to your reactions, plus how people use their power to get you back in your box, and also consider upon the consequences of boundary infringements. Is what I'm saying. It's not as simple as boundaries 1, 2, 3. Hope that makes sense. It's so painful. Healing takes longer than the trauma you receive. Healing is a blessed journey. It really is no joke. I'm going through it. Yeah, and who is it with? Is it a love partner for you? What's your name here? Invest with Medley. Is it a partner, family member? It is. It's a fascinating journey, you know, and it's one I am privileged and honoured to support people with understanding themselves. Uncle Donovan, Jamaica, I see you. Bless you. Thank you for the lobster. Shigal Kili Tamana here, just encouraging us to think about the people that you actually collude with. You see, when people take you for an idiot, and then you acting like, you see what happens is, like, you know that they do it, but you never call it out, or you keep exposing yourselves to these situations. My question to you is, actually, you are colluding, the word is colluding, with your own being undermined. And my hope for you is as time goes by, you get to a point in your life where that's no longer acceptable to you. Was there a time in my life where people used to undermine me, and I used to you know what I used to do? I used to try to convince them. I used to try to change their minds. Life taught me, wisdom taught me that trying to change people's minds when they have an opinion of you is not great for your greatness. It's best you accept and keep on moving soul to soul. If you know what I'm saying, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a love, give me a heart or something out there, because TikTok likes it when you get these little icons and so on and so forth. But if you've got a question for me, Keely Tavern, a psychotherapist, special. Thank you, Soph. Oh, bless you. Thank you. And I got hearts. Oh, isn't that sweet? TikTok is always telling me to do lives, but I don't know. I struggle with them, especially. I don't think you can pull them off and save them. Like on other platforms, I could save them. Anyhow, when people show you their true colours, you best believe. Yeah, but it takes time, doesn't it, Essie? Especially when you grow attached and you love them and you really care about them, or it's been a while since someone of significance has come in your life. You know, I'm straight talking, but my compassion is high, man. I get it. Some of us have waited. We didn't think we'd ever meet anybody again, and then we do. And you grow attached, and slowly some shabby behaviours, you know, start to come along. And this is one of the reasons why, you know, maybe with age it happens, right? I'm just very straight talking, because when I've not been straight talking, I had suffered for it. Man's like, Key, you're really real. You're damn right I am. Because when I weren't real, it was real painful. If you know what I'm saying, give me a heart, give me a like, give me some love out there, bro. I got to be straightforward with you. Straight like an arrow. Because sisters, when we don't, we suffer for it. And you know what we're like, us empaths. When we get attached, we get hyper attached. You be front and center of our world. So it's best I'm direct. Me and red flags are friend. But I'm not looking at their red flags. I'm looking at mine's. Am I not calling it out? Am I being overly giving? Am I making lots of allowances? I have to be careful with that. And it's something I'm still conscious of to this very day. I have to be very careful, very mindful when it comes to love. Very mindful. What does that guy say? Very mindful, very demure. I have to be very mindful. If I'm not mindful. And just remember, right? Just because we've done all our self-help reading, peoples. Just because we've been reading all our self-help books and YouTube Googling, it don't mean the narcissist won't come across our path again. It does not work like that. This is why I advocate self-awareness. Because when unnecessarily difficult people do come across your path, you'll notice, oh, this person made me feel anxious. Oh, I find it very difficult to say no. Oh, I find my people pleaser kicking off with this individual. That's what you pay attention to. These are the signs that we pay attention to. This is why I totally advocate self-awareness. And I'm unapologetic about that, because I want you to thrive, because there is great potential in you. Many of us are playing small. We have very limiting beliefs. We don't rate ourselves. We don't talk highly about ourselves. We don't blow our own trumpet, you see. They're busy blowing everybody else's. But we think if we blow our own trumpet that we're being braggadocious or we're showing off. So we call it, I'm being humble. No, you're not. You're being self-depreciating. Speak well of yourself. Speak well of yourself. This is the power for us empaths when we step into our power. What's this question here? Flowers, roses. When people show you their true colours, believe. Why do people manipulate others? What do they get out of it? Well, power and control. But remember, my dear empath, being empathic and giving and going above and beyond can also be a form of manipulation. I don't know if you're ready for the dark empathy side yet. Maybe when you come on my course, if you choose to come on my course, we look at the shadow side of being an empath, because a lot of empaths go around walking around thinking they got angel wings and shit, and that's not the truth. Sometimes a part of our gift giving and going above and beyond is a very subtle form of control. And I know I've done this before in the past, because you know what I used to say? How could they have done this to me? Look at all I've done for them. So when I catch myself saying, how could they do this to me? Look at all I've done for them. What does it mean? It means I gave with an agenda. It means I gave with the intention of some form of reciprocity. And so now I become conscious that maybe the reason I went above and beyond for them was because it served a need in me. And so us empaths, we're not angelic, but so much of the relationship with empaths and narcissists is in the unconscious dynamics. This is why you have to be careful of the professionals, the so-called professionals. You give your hard-earned money to help you, because some of them have done a coaching course on Udemy and are acting like they can deal with unconscious dynamics, and it's not the case. Trust me, it ain't the case. So I hope that's helpful to you. It is a challenge to you, but you know what you asked, sister, and it's a really beautiful question, and I love to give it the backup that it deserves. Yeah, us empaths are manipulative too. Us empaths are manipulative too. And it's for us to develop the conscious awareness of how we do that. And often one of the ways we do that is excessive giving. And one of the things I began to do, especially in my early years when I began to train as therapists, what they encouraged us to do is to become conscious. What is my intention in giving? Why do I need to give? And I remember when that went from knowledge, book knowledge, into my own behavior. And there was a dude I was talking to, and he had all these problems. Empath. I said, he had all these problems. This is a red flag. When a dude has lots of problems, this is a red flag for Keely. Because what does the empath want to do? Help. And then when they take all our help, and then when we call them and we need help and they don't help, who hurt oneself? Who hurt me? Did they hurt me, or did I hurt myself? I set the relationship up on one-wayness. I will rescue you. I will save you. I must have thought I was the savior. I must have thought I was Jesus. And I remember it was the first time, and I stopped myself. And then I employed the 5 WH questions. What do you need to do? What would be helpful? Why do you need to do that? How can you get yourself out of your problems? I began to ask them questions about how to get themselves out of the situations they created. Game changer. Game changer. And this is why empaths and narcs ain't no joke. I hope that's helpful to you. How do you begin to heal once you're self-aware? Depends where you're at, you know. It depends what you're beginning to observe in yourself. I would be curious, whenever anyone talks to me, I want to know where you're at and what do you want for your life? Where are you at? What do you want for your life? What's your vision for your life? And you know what, my sister, you know much people that have no vision for their life? The vision was in the narcissist. The vision and the dream and the fantasy of how life would be when they valued them and turned them around is the vision. They have no self-vision. And that is always dangerous. You always need your own vision. I don't care which person you meet, which is the new love of your life. I don't care. Always have your own vision and always have your get vex money. So if that makes sense to you, my sister, you may need to go on my profile, sign up for a call. We can have a conversation. I need to know where you are. Where do you want to be? What is holding you back? We need clarity around that. I got number 3 glitter badge. What? I've learned so much from you. Thank you, Lavender. Hey, Lavender, is that with the dog, with the Alsatians? Is that you? Oh, if that's you, got love for you, man. You've been alongside me from very, very early days. It's hard because I was raised to look after people. I know so much of that is a part of our identity, but it's also a part of what takes us into crisis. Because as you know, and I know this is for me too, right? I can't help it. We see people and we see their need. But often, like I've evolved, my circle's very different now. But who sees you? Who can we be vulnerable with? We don't even ask, many empaths, we don't even ask for help. We're there buckling under the strain. But one of the biggest problems for empaths is they never ask for help. Firstly, because they don't even know what they need. And often if you've had a traumatic childhood with very selfish parents who didn't attune to your needs, you don't even know what you need. This could be one of the reasons why you keep getting Harris and Houle body sets for Christmas. Because when somebody says to you, what would you like for Christmas? You say anything. Now you've got 25 foot scrubs in your house as if you've got a heel dry skin problem because you never once said, I would like a shoe, a bag, or a jacket because it makes you feel so uncomfortable. Now your yard is filled with pure heel creams. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. Oh, thank you. I will call you. Blessings. Just sign up, sister. Go to the profile. My ambition is to be of assistance. You know what I'm saying, Lavender? That's why you love on them dogs if it's the lavender I know. Lavender. Fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia, we know fibromyalgia is... You need to watch the documentary Heal. If you've got fibromyalgia, fibromyalgia is also one of the other conditions that show up for many empaths who have overgiven, who have just perpetually put people first all their life. It's where the body is starting to let you know that it can't take no more. And actually, disease and illness can be one way for us to stop and reflect, because in those crises, we actually see who is there for us. And that is incredibly painful. It's incredibly painful because, hold on, when you needed them, you were skidding up to the hospital, first person there, went to consultation, was by their side, bought flowers, shoes, fancy bed duvets and anything they needed into the health shop, buying them minerals, vitamins and pills, yet you can barely get a sentence on a WhatsApp back. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. Us empaths, we got to check ourselves, man. Our wounds are often the toxic fuel that governs our empathy. But because we're not conscious of that, we end up living a life of perpetually giving. And it is not great for our greatness. I got diabetes and high blood pressure from the narcissistic husband. I hear that. But my sister, are you checking what you eat too? We got to look at the diet. I hear that. And I know that they can affect blood pressure. But diabetes is also about how you're consuming food. And I know many of us emotionally eat as well. And it's understandable. We're just doing the best we can with what we have available to us. So my encouragement to you, and this is the name of this video tonight, although I can't see it because God knows where that's gone, but encouraging you to stop colluding with people who undermine you. You have to get to a point where it no longer serves you playing small. Sometimes you got to call out disrespect. Anybody here ever lent someone money and then they always got a story as to why they can't pay back? Yet you see them with a new shoe and a new bag and you're still smiling in their face. Not great for your greatness. That's called collusion. You lend them money. They ain't got no money, yet they're going on holiday. And you're not going to say nothing. You're going to play along. Not great for your greatness. That creates inner conflict and inner frustration. You have to learn to not be about that. And if they abandon you and leave you, as the Jamaicans would say, asa, which means that's how it goes. If you've got any questions or curiosities about your life overcoming, but ultimately, like I said, for me, it's not really about the narcissist, it's about your own greatness, and it's always about your own potential. And one of the ways you will know is because what dream do you have for your life? What is your aspiration? None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. What would you like to do, be, have? How would you like your life to look like? You see, because when you're around all-consuming people, there's no space for you. But you see, for many of us empaths, we were brought up to believe we don't matter. Many, not all. Not all. Claim one flare. What is one flare? Who knows this? How can you learn all of this stuff on TikTok Live? Jesus Christ. There's so much. We didn't grow up having value. So the quest, should you choose to accept it, is to learn to value yourself. And you see, for many of us empaths, we want quick fix in it. And I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. It's a process and it's a journey. And you will backslide. You will meet another person who's unnecessarily difficult. My hope is, I know I did for many, many years. But you're quicker, you're sharper, and you get out quicker. Faster, you become sharper. How do you build self-esteem after abuse? Soph, what do you love? What do you enjoy, Soph? Now, I know there's not many of them around, but if you went into a bookshop, what section of the bookshop would you be drawn to? What section would inspire you? Your body will always respond to the things that you love and you enjoy. Your intrigue. There you go, spirituality. So there's the sign. There's a really good book. Sophie, you noticing this down? Give me a yes, give me a heart, give me a like. You're going to love this book, and I want you to inbox me as you listen to it. I listened to it. I was coming back from Birmingham yesterday, and I listened to it in one sitting. It's a game changer. I've been so motivated today. But we know motivation doesn't last. What you need to develop is habits. But the motivation has been wonderful to experience today. We all experience our lows. So let me know you're with me and I'll give you the name of the book. I'm just finding it on my Audible. What questions do you have about your potential? Pain. All right. It's called The Dream Giver. Inbox me by Bruce Wilkinson. If you're in the UK, you can get that free on Audible. I know I did. But I seriously encourage you to have a listen to that. It's a beautiful one. Listen to it, man. I think there's answers in there for you. Come back to me and let me know that it's been of... I already know it's going to touch you. I already know it will. Yeah, man. The Dream Giver, my sister. You see, that's what I'm passionate about. Everybody thinks, oh, you deal with narcissists. Narcissists. You think narcissists come and see me? You think narcissists like me? They don't like me. They don't like people who call them out. And I got a habit of saying things as I see it. The challenge with narcs is that generally they're defensive. So in therapy, it's really tricky because you need someone who, we all have our defenses, but you need someone who has a kind of a curiosity to go within themselves. And for many of the narcissistic individual, it's one of those terms, isn't it? Everybody seems to think everybody's the narcissist and everybody seems to think they're the empaths. But my true narcissist, I worked in prisons. So I'm not just a scorned woman who's trying to get revenge on my difficult boyfriend. I worked in HMP Wormwood Scrubs. Pick up all the man them on A wing, B wing, C wing, D wing, seg, as they all say, right? So my understanding comes from also professional development, not just being scorned. Many people are doing this work who are scorned and are using their pain as fuel. And whilst that has power, the challenge is the inner work may not have taken place. And this is why when they try to hold you through your process, you may not find that they have the capacity to be as robust, or they start to tell you. And as an empath, there's many things we do that we self-sabotage. Our relationship has to be built on trust. So you can trust me to say, Key, you know what, I backslid, I unblock, I said, cool, let's have a chat. What was happening Friday night? Well, I had a... You want to just understand that. So you begin to make sense to you. So we get a sense of what, loneliness might be doing to you too. I hope that makes sense. Now the share button's come up. Now I'm sure if I share, this is going to go off someone else. More creators want to host. Listen, man, anytime I've joined these creators, I've found people all over the world banging drums. Some don't even speak English. So I think it's best I just hold the mic myself tonight. If you know what I'm saying, that's cool. If you ever want to do a live, maybe come and ask me something. But I'm not too down with the TikTok vibe, because trust me, when I've seen them come in, it's never been quite the conversation I'd hoped for. And then I'm having to deal with all the bits on the screen. Now I'm looking at, Jagesh from some far-flung corner of the world who's cooking over a fire. And I'm swear down. Just got the #1 badge, pre-Dr. Kim. Hey, thank you. If you have questions about being an empath, and really we want to learn how to advocate for ourselves. This is an important life skill for many of us. We didn't grow up feeling of value and worth. And often by the time we reach adulthood, or we've ended up in an extremely toxic relationship, we can be baffled about, is it like a curse to be kind? Many people I meet think it's a curse to be kind. I said it's a damn gift. It's a gift from the Creator. But you have to learn the wisdom to be able to protect the gift. Nothing wrong with being empathic. But do you have the wisdom to protect your gift? Because many of us empaths, we give it away indiscriminately. And then people burn us and bruise us, and we're left baffled like, is it a curse to care? It's never a curse to care. But many of us are caring to try to convince unlovables, to convince people who don't love us that we are lovable. And often this is a unconscious replay of a parental dynamic. Oh, that's a bit deep. I think I learned, but it's difficult to have boundaries when the goalposts keep moving. If the goalpost keeps moving, that means you don't have sufficient consequences when people violate, potentially. If you put a boundary down and then someone moves the goalpost, I just said this to someone today, in the same life. Your issue isn't boundaries. Boundaries are really easy to understand. When you put down a boundary, you're going to have a guilt problem. And plus, if your boundaries have no consequences, so people violate you and then there's no consequences, then people learn to disrespect you. We are actually teaching people how to treat us. So actually, if we put a boundary down and someone violates it, or they move the goalpost, of course they're going to move the goalpost because they need you in their box. They benefit from you being compliant and obedient. It's simple games. Why are they going to be invested in your evolvement if it hinders them, if they have a lifestyle out of you? That ain't happening, man. It's just not happening, and we need to understand that. If you're around lots of people and you have to put boundaries in place, you're probably around the wrong people. Why do you keep showing up? What's that about for you? Now, I don't know the context, so I'm making generic statements. Please don't go hard on me, because sometimes I think people think I should have exactly all the answers when I'm giving generics. This is the first time I've heard someone acknowledge the guilt that I feel for boundaries. Of course, I know my empaths. I know my empaths very well. Can't deal with the guilt. And we have no consequences. This is why people take us for a fool. This is why they ride us like donkeys. This is how we become doormats. No consequences. What have we taught them? What's the point? They move the goalpost, and what do? Move the goalpost with them? No, sir. This is about beyond the book. You see, books, I started with mine is reading self-help books. Reading self-help books was a powerful way in, but it only took me so far. To really do the work on myself, I needed relationship. And that's what took me to therapy. Well, actually, training as a therapist took me to therapy. I wouldn't have gone to therapy otherwise. What's the best thing to do then? Walk away. What's the situation, my sister Nat? I don't know your situation. I can't see your previous question. You feel bad for protecting yourself. No. What you have to learn, which is what I talk about on my program, Navigate Narcissism Now. And maybe I'm giving away all the answers. My coach will probably tell me I'm doing myself a great disservice. But it's okay, because it is what it is. I'm here to make a difference. Not hide details from people so they stay stuck. And you'll probably still carry on in the same cycle anyway. Because it takes time to change, and we need support. You learn to befriend guilt. You see, we read all these books and we think we wouldn't feel guilt. You put a boundary in place and then you're going to go skippity, skippity. Remember, when you change, they change. That's Newton's law. For every effect, there's an affect. Tick, tock, tick, tock. So you think when you put a boundary in place, they're going to be like, oh, okay. Listen, enough of these people are milking you like a cow. Moo. Why are they going to be bowing down easily when you put boundaries in place? You will be challenged. That is where we will see how ready you are for the journey. And my dear friend, sometimes we can only go so far by ourselves. You can't just walk away. I don't know what your power dynamics are. What power do they have over you? What strings can they pull to manipulate you? Freedom is not free. We have to do an assessment. You've got to be real about that. I'm not here to tell you to go and speak your truth. Many people go and speak their truth. Might be the last words they speak. Let's be frank about this. Life ain't no joke. Many people profit from your compliance and your agreeableness. And they will certainly not be your cheerleaders when you make changes. You better believe that. They are trading on your stuckness. So when you go and throw down some boundaries because you've been reading the Louise Hay book, I ain't lying. You have to become conscious. And that's why I work with people for 6 months, a year. We want to give you the space. I can offer you insights, but we need the integration. We need it to marinate from the brain into behavior. And that takes time. It takes time, and then you're going to come back and you give me feedback, and then we're going to see how the backlash happens, what they do to you. We want to make predictions. I hope that's helpful to you. I'm mindful of time. And if you have any questions for me before I dash, I've got to go and do another recording of Navigate Narcissism Now. The topic, so I have an app with all the topics on, and sometimes recording the videos takes me a little while, I ain't even gonna lie. But it's just the audio, so it's not too bad. Just done the 9 traits of the narcissist. In my group, I tell people all the time, we're not here to sit down and chat about narcissists. It's an honor, Kim. It's an honor. You know, this is spiritual work. Yes, I'm a psychotherapist, but ultimately this is spiritual work. Nothing good is ever wasted. I hope it really helps you to understand, you know. This is the challenge of just reading about it. People say I give too much, I share too much, but it is what it is. When somebody comes to me and they're like, Key, what is that? I'll just, like, maybe this is a different way for you to look at it, you know? It's just a different way for you to look at it. What is this? So I hope this video is, yeah, God is good, you know? Nothing good is ever wasted. I'm so blessed in so many ways. You know, I'm so blessed in so many ways. It's an honor. It's a dear honor. And also it makes my pain purposeful. You know, the reason I'm so explicit is because, you know, I've been in, you go to my profile, you know I've been in your shoes. I know them shoes. People are like, oh my gosh, you're so real. I'm like, yeah, I'm talking my story here. And now I help others, making pain purposeful. It's spiritual principles. To make adversity work for you, to make adversity advantageous is spiritual work. To go from victim to victory is spiritual work, because there comes a point when you cannot see your way forward. The road is untrodden. You can't see the way through. This is where we take leaps of faith. We are trading on faith. And we are being courageous. This is why I say, for the people who make it to the therapy room, you are brave souls. And I know there are people around you who are making you feel inadequate because you went to therapy. Forgive them, Father. As Lauryn Hill says, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. And you're there priding yourself on their opinion and their justifications. Not great for your greatness. Unapologetically tell my empaths that. They ain't great for your greatness. You are better off looking for stranger danger than for validation from the people who know and love you. Stranger danger. Other empaths. This is why I'm bringing together my community of empaths who are on the road of journey of growth and change and expansion. We want to ascend. We want to ascend. And then you know what? You're not even bothered about what the narcissist's doing. You'll feel compassion for the next victim. You'll be like, Jesus Christ, that used to be me. That person is more like you than you know. Although some of them be bragging and showing themselves off, huh? Bless them, Father. They know not what they do. Okay. So that's supposed to be the summary. I haven't done the summary. But that's okay. We are but human after all. I hope this video has been of benefit to you. If you have any questions or curiosities about narcissism, what's going on in your life, the people that are taking your kindness for weakness, who benefit from you being small. You see, many people benefit from you playing small. And then you wonder why when you put boundaries in place, they ain't playing ball. What did you expect? You must expect they would be like, oh yeah, that's fine. They want you stuck. They need you stuck. Because you have power and potential. You see. There's so much power in you that you don't know because your self-esteem tells you you're not good enough. You might have grew up with low expectations or you were the underdog. You don't know the value you hold. You hold a lot of value. My ambition is to help you see that. You want to know how to build your self-esteem? You get out your comfort zone. Stop watching the damn Netflix and being up to speed with all the latest shows, Dalton Abbey and whatever is the latest thing they got on that. You see? You got a Netflix subscription? My answer to you is, are you fulfilling your potential? Sorry, not sorry. Every time I'm sitting there watching it, I feel an uncomfortableness. I think, what else could I be doing with this time? Some say I don't know how to relax. That's okay. I'd rather that than being up to speed on the housewife of Atlanta and what bags they carrying. Sorry, not sorry. I'm unapologetic about my potential and the vision that God has for my life. Here to make a difference. To go beyond consumption, to create. Many of us are in consumption. We're consuming all the time, buying all the time. We want to shift to creation and manifestation. But many of us, we think we don't know how to manifest. We just manifest what we don't want. You're already a master manifester, but you just train your energy into shit you don't want. When you reclaim that power and shift from consumption to creation, I nor anyone else knows no idea who you could be. You won't even know. If you would have tapped me on the shoulder and said, in 20 years' time, you'll be doing X, Y, Z, I would have said, you lying. I don't believe it. 32, so I'm looking for 33. I hope this is helpful to somebody. You really helped me the other day. Thank you. Oh, Natalie, I'm not too sure how I help, but you know what, my sister, pay it forward. That's all I ask, pay it forward. Because people are struggling out there, man. It's difficult times, you know, and people are struggling. You just pay it forward, you know. You see someone in need, and if you can help, you help. My mum's a Rasta lady, and there's a song by Garnet Silk. I grew up around reggae, and it says, if your neighbour comes begging you something, and you can give it now while you can. And I know that Jah will bless you. Well, go on, Miss G. I see you. How you doing, Birmingham? Yeah? You give it. If you can help, you help. I'm not sure how I helped you, my sister, but it's an honour. It's an honour and the greatest blessings that one could ever ask for. It's a beautiful way to live. And this is why we must ascend from the trauma. We can't let Big Dick Derek, who mashed up our heart from 1985, still have power in 2024. Come on. The sex weren't that great. Or maybe it was. Who do you want? Where do you want to be? What's the vision for your life? Reclaim your power, man. Focus your energy, and I tell you, your life will change. Your life can change. But it's going to take all you got. And you're going to doubt yourself. You're not going to trust the process sometimes. I know I didn't. Tried to stay in my job, tried to settle for less. You know what I'm saying? That I listen, like, come on. You know how it goes. Sometimes that sex got to our head. No. We can't be letting that happen. We can't be giving these people that much power. Come on. I ain't lying. So if you've got curiosities about your potential, how to move on from adversity, how to make adversity advantageous, you holler at your girl Key. That's my lane. But if you think you're going to bang on to me about your narcissist partner and what they didn't do and how they did this, now I need some context. But trust me, if it gets too much, I'll soon let you know. I'm like, okay, that's enough now. What about you? What are your dreams and your abandoned ambitions? You know how much empaths I've seen evolve? Oh, that is my greatest glory, to bear witness to that. I had a client this week, she was smiling from ear to ear, boy, nothing like it. She was amazed. We were both amazed at her growth. It's a beautiful honor. It's a beautiful honor to be a part of that process. Nothing quite like it. Summary, 33, so you need 34, Keely. 34. Oh, bless you. Bless you, Sister G. Listen, let me tell you, see Miss G? Miss G changed my life. Miss G changed my life. She's good people's. That woman changed my life. I hadn't been on holiday for years, right? Because I spent all my time studying and trying to build my business, yeah. I was in Birmingham this weekend and I thought of you, but I thought I'm not just going to rock and knock your door, sister, because I know how it goes, innit? But I thought of you when I was up there. And I went on holiday, and let's just say the people I went with weren't the right people, but she has a very friendly, warm disposition. And as empath, empath warm to empaths. We warm to good-spirited people. So I start nestle with her. My friends was always sleeping. And so I felt like buddy no mates. Sometimes there's a point in life where you have to do things by yourself, but you don't like it and you don't welcome it. I didn't like it and I didn't welcome it. But it was essential for me. And in doing so, in getting up and going out by myself, God allowed me to meet Miss G. And Miss G changed my life because you know what this woman does? She connects people. She is a connector. And she opened up her networks and allowed me in and just introduced me to people. And to this day, those people are a part of my life. I just come back from Portugal with Teresa. I met her through you, Miss G. I met her through you indirectly, though, through Ali. And I just want to... I always think of you when I drive to Birmingham. I go kind of once a month now. My coach is up there. And, you have such a warm place in my heart. This woman is a connector and you need people. Sometimes there are times in your life where you have to do things by yourself. And it's not comfortable. And I've always wished I had a herd of girls, like a girl crew, and I've never had that. But Miss G, she introduced me to her crews. And they're some of my closest friends today, as well as her fine self. That's good people right there. And that's another thing I encourage you to do, empaths. You plow your energy into relationships that aren't giving and they're one way. And often we don't give sufficient energy to the people that are great for us. One of the game changers is to start to invest in the people that love you. Invest in them. Spend more time with them. Get yourself round around wise counsel, wise minds. Elder people, not all of them are great because some of them, they got their bag of issues. But get yourself around wise counsel. And sometimes they don't even look like, as you grow, you'd be like, who would have thought me and this person would be friends, right? Or they might be 70. I'm meeting a lovely lady tomorrow. She's 70, but she's had my back for years, always encouraged me. Some of the people we want to love us, they don't love us. And for whatever reason, we won't get it, and we keep trying. You need to understand you will not get the validation you need. Free yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. You know I'm quoting Bob. I hope that's helpful to somebody. I think that is 34. I found the video I need to record. It's called How to End a Toxic Relationship. It's your girl, Keely Taverner. I'm here recording videos for my online program, Navigate Narcissism Now, which is available to you. If you are interested, feel free to go to my bio. Why not do something great for your greatness today? Because so many of you are plowing your energy into situations that ain't working for you, that are slowly diminishing your sense of worth. And then you are baffled why you have no confidence, low self-esteem, and you are depressed. There's a solid good reason why you are depressed, and I will proudly declare to you what is going on, why you feel the way you do, and what you need to do about it. You see, you have great potential within you, and many of us are not taking proactive steps to fulfill our dreams and our potential. That is fundamentally what I believe we are here on life, on great earth for. I do not believe we are here to consume Netflix series after Netflix series and potentially go on the doom scroll. But that might be an inconvenient truth for people, and if I offend you, well, so be it. I'm not here to keep everybody happy. If you want to, find somebody else who will keep you entertained. My name is Keely Taverner. I am a qualified, experienced psychotherapist. Yes, I got my badges and credentials behind me. I'm just not lippy without the validation of the institutes. I know what I'm talking about. I help people. I am a companion to people who are seeking change and manifestation. How do I know it? Yes, I've read the books, but I've walked it. I didn't get off of IKEA checkout tills to be where I am today by just wishing about it, reading about it, and overthink about it. I put my foot to the ground, I prayed, I sacrificed, I delayed gratification, and I took steps outward. I took my money and stopped buying cars, as everybody did on my estate, and I started to invest in my education. And God has never failed me. And my desire for you is that you take steps to unfold your greatest potential. There is so much more in you that wants to manifest itself. And because it is not manifesting itself, it's no wonder we are sad, depressed, and lonely. I wish you greatness. I wish you the opportunity to discover your great potential within you. It's not just within me or him or her. It's God-given and within all of us. God bless you. Good night. And thank you for your thoughts. Amen. Hallelujah. Praises be to the Most High. Bye.